Shock the system. Bulletcast for life.
Icon in wrestling.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You know the name, you know the voice, you know exactly why I'm here. Just in case if you don't, I'm a 24-year-old piece of gold, the messiah of the microphone, of the greatest sports recreational podcast in the world today. But you know I never do this alone. My tag team partner, Brandon, is not with me on this recording, but I have some good friends of mine, Jonathan Sturholm and Brittany. Brittany, I forgot your last name. I am so completely sorry. How you guys doing?
Good.
Yeah, we're doing great.
I love that opening spiel.
I've been doing it for like so long. It just comes off the top of the head like every week. But so to kind of catch you guys up to why I have them on here, I wanted to do something new and different. You know, all the people I have on the show, they already watch wrestling on a regular basis. I was like, you know what? Sam Roberts from SiriusXM, he does this on his podcast. He calls it Captive Audience, where he gets like his wife or father-in-law, or people who don't watch wrestling, and he shows them a match and he gets their thoughts on it. I'm like, I want to do that here too. So I wanted to have Jon and Brittany on, and I figured, what are two wrestlers that everybody knows? They know The Rock, they know John Cena. Rock, obviously the biggest star in Hollywood, and Cena, he's creeping up to be that. So I was like, okay, let's look at their little rivalry. So the match we're going to be watching is from WrestleMania 28 in 2012. It was the quote-unquote once-in-a-lifetime, even though it happened again the next year. It's Cena versus The Rock, two of the biggest stars of their eras, the quote-unquote Hogans of their eras. So before we even get into the match, you guys have a podcast. It's called Team Talks. I've been a guest on it, and you guys just interview your friends and talk about life. So tell the people a little bit about that.
Yeah, so Team Talks basically got created because we wanted a creative outlet to show off our friends, basically, and get them on and pick their brains and get them to talk about things that they're passionate about and what they're interested in, and just kind of create some journal entry type memories for the future, and really just like start some conversation, discussion with the people that we love and care about. Mm-hmm. So we have Phil on, and we got to talk a bunch about his podcasting journey, which was a blast, and
some preliminary wrestling background.
Yes,
I did get that a little bit.
We're noobs, but
we are like
slight educated
95% noobs.
Hey, it's okay. You know, I've introduced a couple people to the realm of wrestling, and then some have dove in, some keep up here and there. So we'll see where you guys are.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. So what episode are you guys on with your podcast?
I don't know, like 40.
Yeah, I think we're coming up on episode 40 later this week.
The big 40. Got a special show planned?
No.
One of our very close friends.
Yeah, it's hard. You can't say one's more special than the other, because
that's true. That's true.
People,
absolutely, man.
No spiel, no craziness.
But that's actually a good idea. Maybe we should plan something like extra special for 50, like just you and I. I don't know.
It's a good idea. Well, we're still noobs in the podcasting world too, so
not even near like a spiel at the beginning. Yeah. A rehearsal announcement. I do like that stuff. I feel it.
Oh, thank you. So I sent you guys two videos. They were promos to kind of you get the gist of what's going to happen in the match. How'd you guys like that? What'd you guys pick up on?
It seemed like there's bad blood, but there wasn't a whole lot of why there was bad blood in the promos. So I'm curious of, like, just because they're the best always have to have bad blood, you know, or if it's just like that. But yeah, I've known both of these guys since forever. As long as you can think of. So it only makes sense that they finally get to like meet each other in the ring.
Absolutely. So the thing that's going on here, The Rock, he left for Hollywood. He left WWE. And, Cena, he took over. He became the guy. He became the franchise player. And Rock comes back in 2011 to host WrestleMania 27. And Jon, calls him a hypocrite. Like, you left. You didn't really care about the business. He said that for years. And then, so the night after WrestleMania 27, it's announced a year in advance, Rock versus Cena in the main event. A year in advance for WrestleMania main events never happened before. That was super awesome. It's kind of ironic now because Cena, he's no longer. I mean,
that was my point. That was my point after watching the promo. I'm like, he calls out The Rock, but like also he later also had a career. But John countered that he's still
like Cena's still doing
wrestling
stuff now, right?
Right. He's still
he had a match at WrestleMania. It was cinematic because there were no fans in attendance. But his contract just expired with the company this year, so technically, Big Match John is a free agent. But he has gone on to do other things in acting. He's becoming a more prominent figure in the acting world. So yeah, he's often said that, okay, I get why he did this now. Yeah.
Cool. Good for him.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, The Rock kind of paved the way for him to kind of take the same path, I guess.
Him and guys like Batista, he's done stuff in Marvel.
He's in Guardians of the
He
Galaxy.
was a wrestler?
Yeah. Big.
See, that was going to be my point. Is John Cena? I know as like that. Like when I've seen him in movies, I knew that he was a wrestler guy. Like primarily, like, oh, he's a wrestler who's doing movies. But I never really knew The Rock's background. Like before I knew he was an actor. Then it was later. I was like, oh, he was part of WWE.
And he also played for the University of Miami.
Oh yeah, the U.
Still playing football. Before he made an NFL run, and then after his NFL run failed, then he went into
But
wrestling.
any kind of like promos they've done for any of their Hollywood stuff, I've always like genuinely liked them. I thought like they always were real and honest. I mean, obviously The Rock is just a freaking dope person, but even John Cena, like I was like, I like what he's putting out there,
Absolutely. So without further ado, guys, if you're watching this, WWE, their YouTube channel, it's the full match. We don't get the entrances, unfortunately. You have to pay for the network to get that. But it's Rock versus Cena, WrestleMania 28, over 75,000 in attendance in Miami for this, The Rock's hometown. Got to put the air quotes on that. He's actually from Hayward.
Yeah.
No way!
Yeah. He was born at the Kaiser that got torn down.
That is so funny. Okay, just can we segue real quick to this? Because what's so funny about that, going over into UFC territory, is that for the fight with Jorge Masvidal, who's from Miami, and Nick Diaz, who reps Nate Diaz, who reps Stockton, The Rock hosted that fight, which I was like, what the heck? He
was like the belt bearer for the fight.
I remember that. I watched that.
But it was just really funny because it was like such a big territorial thing where it was like
East Coast,
West Coast, and like but he's fucking from the Bay.
See, he was born there. So you're not always from where you're born, I think.
That's true.
Like he was raised in Florida.
It's just ironic that was such a point of contention when that's his background.
I mean, Rock has claimed us once, the WrestleMania that was here at Levi's Stadium. He cut a promo. He said, I'm from the East Bay. And we're like, finally, you admit it. This is his build hometown because, the University of Miami, the U, was such a big part of his life.
Yeah.
So without further ado, here we go. Rock versus Cena. And some ads might possibly play during this, too.
All good.
Should we go full screen it?
Yeah, do it.
I don't know how that's gonna mess the zoom up, but we'll see.
Yeah, we can work it.
All right, a little delay there. There we go.
Oh yeah, we're Gucci. We're good.
All right, and it is happened. There we go.
Okay, my question, just off the bat again, I need a little refresher from my first lesson. It's choreographed. But do you know the outcome? Like, do they know the outcome?
So, in today's world, you know the outcome. To break kayfabe, which kayfabe is storyline in wrestling, you know the outcome, and like certain big spots, but a lot of it's called on the fly. Now, back in the day, like the 80s and 70s, you just... The promoter would be like, all right, John, you're winning. Then John and I go out there and wrestle for an hour and just call everything on the fly.
Okay.
Yeah. There are times back in the territory days where you knew who was going to win once the ref counted 3. Like, sometimes you just did it like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's exciting as well. Now we have the test of strength between Cena and Rock here. remember. I was living in Florida at the time when this WrestleMania was going on.
Really? Was it
Yeah.
crazy?
It was fun, you know. I had it illegally, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
So what's the gate look like to get into like a WrestleMania type event? We're talking Super Bowl of wrestling, right? This is like the big show.
This is it. You know, this is the biggest show in all of sports entertainment. You know, I've never been to a Mania, believe it or not. When it was out here, I was going to college in Texas, and then the year later, it was in Texas. I was out here, so Mania has skated me by. Hopefully, once the Rona's under control, maybe it'll be in Los Angeles like it's supposed to be next year, and I can make that trip.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, I mean, it's a long night. WrestleMania over the last couple years has become like a 7-hour show.
Ooh.
This one was like a 4-hour, which is reasonable. Rock with the nip up. There we go. Throws him into the nice, deep Japanese arm drags by Rock. Goes for a schoolboy cradle. See, Rock can wrestle a little bit. Okay.
I know. I love seeing the parallel between like traditional, like like high school wrestling or college wrestling comes like parallel, because I see it in the UFC and I see it in like clips on this too, and it's interesting how they kind of overlap.
Absolutely, man.
So Cena's like taking a second, right?
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, people say Cena can't wrestle, but over the last, like, in the 2010s, he really proved that he could. And just the psychology, that's another aspect of wrestling. Getting them to feed into the palm of your hand, whatever you do. Cena's a mastermind at that.
Uh-oh.
Here we go. That's a big leapfrog by Cena. Nice hip toss. See, when you do a headlock takeover like that, you give you guys a little bit of time to rest, and now the crowd can kind of feed off of what you just did.
Mm-hmm. Going back down.
Yep, got referee.
What is the average like time span of a match?
That's a good thing. On TV for like a Raw. Oh, we got an ad playing here for like a. You have Alexa Bliss right there that's getting hit with the chair. She's a wrestler. This is an ad for WWE Battleground. But for like a Raw or SmackDown, like a regular TV main event, it's like 12 minutes, which seems like a lot on TV, but isn't normally. For a main event like this, they get like 30 to 35 minutes on a pay-per-view.
That's a long match. Like that is.
Dude,
even in like any other type of like entertainment or like performance style entertainment, like that's a long set. Like the conditioning level like definitely takes an aspect, and I guess that makes sense for like you see like all of the guys nowadays are looking like this. Like in the older times you had just big kind of some sloppy dudes that were just like kind of banging into each other. But now it seems like they're becoming more and more fit and more like athletically able to do shit like that.
Where did Cena go? Was he taking a break?
Yeah. He was about to be putting a move that's called a sharpshooter. It's a submission hold, so he had to get out to the outside, kind of recover himself.
You could just like leave for a second?
Yeah, so when you get out of the ring, there is a count of 10, and if you have to beat the count of 10 to get back into the ring, or else you would lose.
Got you. Oh, that looks like very real pain.
You have referee Mike Chioda, no longer with the company. He was among the many that were furloughed earlier this year. He refs for Cena with a cover. Nice kick out by Rock. He refs for All Elite Wrestling. It's the number 2 promotion in America, so he landed on his feet pretty well.
Oh, okay, good.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Phillip here. Look, there are so many channels out there on YouTube that do pranks and challenges and funny videos like That Just Happened TV, Nelk, and Love Live Serve. But why don't you look up Chikle TV? Yes, Chikle TV. Chikle TV. It is a channel I started with my buddy Vinny a couple years ago,
And we've done wrestling finishers in public. He's done eating challenges. We've done pranks to people. It's a whole lot of fun. You know, when you go to YouTube, it is the thumbnail with the guy blowing the bubble. It says Cheeklay TV right in the bubble. And look, you know, just sit down, relax, hop on YouTube, look up Cheeklay TV, and...
Ooh, a little bit of the bubbly.
crack open a little bit of the bubbly. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Cheeklay TV. Like, share, subscribe. It is the freshest channel on YouTube.
So are there? I know that there are different like styles of matches. Like this is just like a 1v1, but they also have like tag team stuff, and then they have like the brawl ones where they're just like
Yeah.
team deathmatch style.
Oh, maybe I should show you guys a Japanese death match once.
And then but like, are the rules like they just have different varying sets of rules throughout?
Yeah, so like a regular tag team match is the same set of rules for this. You know, if you have a hold on and they grab the rope, you have to break by the count of 5. If you can't get counted out, you have to break it by 10. No disqualification, you lose. Stuff. It's really the same for that. And then you have like a street fight and a no holds barred where there are no rules.
Okay, so here where The Rock's out, he has 10 seconds to get back in, and Cena comes out as well.
It breaks the count.
Okay.
So that's fair play if they're both out.
Yeah, and a lot of times, you know, if the ref's at 8, one of them will slide back in and then slide back out.
Gotcha.
Oh, did he just slam him into the judges' table?
Yeah, so that's not illegal.
Not illegal?
He didn't deliberately put him through it. He just kind of dropped him on it. That's okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cena's
So
like,
then-
what's wrong?
So Cena goes back in, then the count starts again.
Well, the referee went out to check on Rock, so the count was paused. But now, as you see, the ref just started. Yeah.
Gotcha. But then he goes back out.
He's like, come on.
It's the technicalities. You gotta play the system.
Goodness.
When it's bigger main event matches like this, usually the refs are a little bit lenient with their count.
Mm.
I mean, the last thing you want is the referee to screw up what they had got planned. You know, all the big moves and.
Nice shot by Cena. Yeah, for a match to go like 30 minutes, this isn't really long. These guys have both competed in an Iron Man match in which there is a time limit. So for their Iron Man matches, it was an hour each. Rock competed in one in 2000 against Triple H, and then Cena competed in one in 2009 against Randy Orton. And what that is, you have to score as many falls in an hour to win.
Oh, interesting.
Belly to belly by Cena.
So there's no point system, right?
Yeah, how do they win?
Like once they get to 3, that's it. That's all that matters.
Once the ref counts to 3, or if they submit, yeah.
How often are there submissions?
It depends. Like if a wrestler has a submission hold as a move, then more likely than not that's how they'll win.
Mm.
Very rare in wrestling have you had submission matches. I know. Was it Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle had an hour-long submission match on a SmackDown back in 2003.
Yeah.
And Brock's not really known for submission holds, so he had to use what's called a stretch muffler, where you take a guy's leg and you put it over the back of your head and you crank it.
Ooh. No. And there's no, like, punching. I thought I saw John Cena punching.
No, there's punching.
Okay.
Cena's just working the lower back of Rock.
I love the referee, like, all up in it.
He's like, he's got to check it out.
So, is he actually looking for anything? Like, are there illegal things that could be, like, going on right there?
Ooh.
I mean...
Or is it more like...
There's nothing illegal really happening. He's really up in there because he's wearing an earpiece, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So in case, like, Vince McMahon, like, the owner of the company, he sits in the position where they come out, that's called the gorilla position. He sits back there at a monitor, you know, and he's like, oh, nice DDT by Rock. You know, he gets up close, so he's like, if there's like a time restraint or a change of time, he can be right up in there and let them know, like, hey, guys, we have this much time left.
Got you. Nice. I do have to say, I feel like The Rock has had more pain on his face. Like, more frequently. Maybe it's the camera itself, like, being more on him. But I feel like Jon's winning the match. Yes?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. I don't know how to. I mean, none of it matters like until the end. So
That's a good
one
point.
person could be ahead the whole time, and then like, what if that happens? What if like Jon is supposed to win, and he goes the whole match, he's winning the whole time, and then he like breaks his leg accidentally during a match, and then like
That's happened before. That's stuff like that's happened.
Ooh, that looked bad.
Oh, spine buster by Rock, and here we go. This is the people's elbow. It is the most electrifying move in all of entertainment. It's so stupid, but they love. Oh. He was about to go for the STF. Nope. This is known as the 5 moves of doom. 2 shoulder blocks. Rock is going to go for a punch. He's going to miss. He's going to slam him down. And then this is where the you can't see me comes from, the 5-knuckle shuffle.
This.
Yeah, absolutely. Little 8-year-old Phillip was running around at recess being like, you can't see me.
I'm pretty sure I've done that before without ever really realizing that.
Here you go. Hits the little shuffle. Boom.
Whoa. Oh, his body went way up.
Oh, we got another
5 knuckles? What just happened?
5-knuckle shuffles. So
I didn't see it.
he'll be like, you can't see me. He'll hit the rope, do a little shuffle, and then he'll drop the fist on the face.
The fist. Okay, I missed the fist part.
It was the cuts, yeah.
I didn't see it.
it's too damn good.
And now Cena's going to go for his move called the attitude adjustment. It used to be the FU. It's a fireman's carry, and then you dump him over. They had to change the name because, they got PG. Didn't want kids running around saying FU.
Right.
Attitude adjustment coming. Nope. Double clothesline. A nice move separator in a match.
What do you mean by move separator?
It's so we'd run at each other, hit each other with a clothesline, and we're both down, cause a separation. That way we can kind of regain our breath and let the crowd.
Momentum's like equalized here.
Yeah, and let the crowd feed into what we've just done. Give ourselves a little break.
Mm-hmm.
The majority of wrestling is really just psychology and getting the fans to believe into what you're doing.
Right.
So back to your broken leg thing. There was a match that had to be stopped fairly quickly. It was Chris Jericho versus Neville on Raw in 2015. Neville shatters his ankle in the match early on. So, Jericho just had to call it on the fly and kind of just roll him up because obviously he couldn't continue.
Yeah. So I've seen some old clips. There's just one really old clip of the like a wrestler in like high black boots.
Sid when he breaks his leg. Yep.
His leg. Oh, that's what I was thinking of when I like thought of that. That was brutal.
You see that he's a big guy. He's never done anything. Attitude adjustment.
Boom.
Rock kicks out. That's one of the things I miss about being in a crowd. When you're watching a really good match and the near falls, the near falls are the best part. You get like a little bit of, your heart drops a little bit. You're like, oh my God, nope, they're still going. But yeah, so the creative that night told Sid, all right, do this move off the top rope, and he didn't want to do it, and he did it anyway, and like a toothpick, his leg just snapped. Yeah.
Does Cena have like dirt above his eye, or is it a bruise?
That's a bruise, a little shiner.
Mm-hmm.
Taking some hits.
How much money do they make?
Oh, rock bottom. That's the Rock's finish.
Oh, I did see that in the promos. You had me watch. So.
Well, it depends. They have a regular salary, and then Cena, like, he was the #1 merch guy for like
Mm.
7 years. So he makes so much revenue off of that.
Right.
Yeah,
So it's in the millions.
Yep.
And then Rock, he got a nice payday for this match.
Mm.
So with the different moves that they do, everybody has like a finisher move, like, or sometimes people have like multiple finisher moves, right?
Yeah, so Cena also has the STF. It's the step over toe hold face lock. That's his submission move.
Mm.
And
is there anything that like needs to meet the criteria to be considered a finisher, or it could literally be anything and you just brand it as your finisher?
It's whatever gets the job done in a match the majority of the time.
Okay.
Oh, more ads.
But, like, one thing I noticed is like in a 30-minute match, like they're both gonna use their finishers multiple times. Like it's their big move.
Absolutely.
So, like, they're trying to get that finish with that move, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So if they don't get the finish the first time, then they'll bring it back and do it again and try and get the finish another time.
Absolutely, and then there are times where guys are kicking out of 2 finishers in a match, try to go for the third one. Their match a year later was just Finisher City. I'm probably have you guys back on so we could kind of close this chapter and watch that.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
See, this is the shit I like.
Cena, this is going to be the diving leg drop to the back of the head.
Ooh.
I feel like this is not that fun for Cena either.
No, it'll destroy your tailbone. Boom.
Is that it? No, it's not it.
Nope.
His face, though.
Oh, see, now his leg.
Look at that. And Cena's not a light dude. He's like 250.
50, yeah. 240, 250.
Jesus, I haven't seen this match in a while.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Here we go. The sharpshooter, made famous by Bret the Hitman Hart, one of Canada's finest.
Oh my gosh, look at Rock's leg. Jesus. Sorry. It's like so muscular.
Okay, so he's going for the rope.
Yep.
And that means he has to let go.
Yeah. Once they get the rope, you got to break your hold.
Uh,
Or you have to do it by a count of 5.
oh, he's punching him now.
Drag his ass back to the center and do it again.
We not done.
Yeah, Rock's sharpshooter isn't the prettiest in the world.
So this move, so the sharpshooter, is that like the name of the move, or?
Yes.
And then people have the sharpshooter as their finisher, or did they like?
Yeah, Bret Hart. He's
Bret Hart, and did he like coin the term sharpshooter?
yeah. It was made in Canada. That's where he's from, and he used it throughout his Hall of Fame career. I mean, he's beaten some of the biggest names in the business with it. The sharpshooter was so effective, Bret Hart made Steve Austin pass out in a pool of his own blood.
Damn.
WrestleMania 13.
There's
Oh,
blood
yeah.
in this stuff?
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
Oh, that was the 90s. There was blood all the time.
Mm.
And Cena falls outside. Fun fact, the top rope to the floor is like 12 feet.
Oh, shit.
That's not 12 feet.
It's 12 feet, man.
Oh, it's just above the second one.
Dude, he could reach the top rope. The Rock's only like 6 something.
Maybe. I don't know.
Cena took the steps.
Okay, so when are they allowed to use chairs and shit and like hit each other with the steps?
Oh, yeah. When's all that come into play?
This is like a fair fight, right?
This is
So
my first WWE wrestling match I've ever seen. So you know.
Wow. Well, this is a pretty good one to be your first one. I mean, this isn't no disqualification, so they can't hit each other with chairs or anything like that. Ooh.
Ooh.
Sunset flip. Here we go. STF.
Oh yeah, that's gotta not be fun.
Looks like a cat slicer almost.
What's he doing now?
He's got his leg pinned.
Oh, okay, cool.
So kind of, I mean, it's kind of similar to what the Rock was doing.
Oh, I
to him,
see. There's
but it's
his
only
foot.
one leg, and he's like pulling on him. These dudes are fucking huge.
Mm-hmm.
They're so ripped.
See the refs all up in there.
More ads.
YouTube with no justice. So how does the outcome of this affect, I guess, either of their careers or their fan base, anything like that? Are there people who are bandwagoners that just like whoever the it guy is they support, or like
are there Rock loyals watching this?
Will The Rock dismantle his career potentially, if he comes back and takes him out?
Not necessarily. I don't think Rock was doing a movie at this time, so he was allowed to go and do this. But I mean, after this, Rock went on to he went back to Hollywood, and then the night after this, Brock Lesnar made his return to WWE and beat up John Cena.
Wow! The night after this?
The night after this, Brock came.
How many matches do they have a year?
They do like 300 matches a year. Or some crazy shit.
Yeah, this is 300 plus days a year. You're on the road. You miss birthdays, weddings, anniversaries.
Well, just that amount of physical output and performing that many nights. That's a lot.
Yeah, so I mean, they have televised events, Raw and SmackDown, and then they have house shows, which are non-televised. So you're wrestling 3 or 4 times a week.
Mm-hmm. Crazy.
And that's all built into their salaries, right? So they're contracted for 300 days. And then
yeah, once you sign to WWE, you're signing up for all of it. Long days on the road, early media calls, all of it.
And there's tons of wrestlers too. So say you're new to the promotion, you're not a big star yet. You don't get a match every day, right? Or every event? Or do you still have to travel with the crew or
Well, you see, you would go down to NXT, which is the best way to describe Samoan Drop. It's their quote-unquote developmental brand, and you would have to move to Florida, and you would learn the ins and outs of WWE in their performance center. So you'd be signed to that brand, and you wouldn't do a lot of traveling. You'd just be in Florida, which, that's nice. But obviously, once your career moves along and you get the call to go up to the quote-unquote main roster, Raw and SmackDown, that's when you hit those 300 days.
Cool. So everybody on the 300 days is performing all of those 300 days. They're having matches.
Some guys, yes, top guys, absolutely. Then there are guys that creative doesn't have anything for them, so they're either sitting in the back at catering or they're sitting at home.
I ain't signed that contract. Not even have to do anything. That's nice.
Yeah. Here we go. Now they're slugging it out.
There, tie. Oh.
Going for the AA one more time. It's not going to work. Here we go.
Woo!
Now we're going to hit it.
Just stand over you.
He's gonna take the elbow pad, throw it into the millions or thousands.
A lot of people there though.
Boom.
Oh.
People's elbow. See, there's iconic things like that I know that are
Yeah, I don't know if you remember that wrestling video we did at the mall, but
Dude, yeah.
Vinny's attempt to do that to me was hilarious.
So wrestling, if wrestling's been around for 50 years, how much like how many eras are there? You know, like
There are so many. You have like you have like the 20s and 30s, which is like the Mildred Burke and school. Nice small package, misses. It's like the Mildred Burke George Hackenschmidt era, and then you get into the 50s or actually the 40s, which is like the Orville.
30s. It's been around for almost 100 years.
Yeah, man. Actually, it's since like I want to say 11 pro wrestling.
Holy shit!
Yeah, you get into the 40s. That's when like the Orville Brown era. The 50s is like the Lou Thez era. The 60s, which WWE was founded, it was the WWF Worldwide Wrestling Federation. You have Buddy Rogers becomes their first champion. You get to the 70s, which is like the San Martino era. 80s, Hogan dominated, and then boom,
Wow.
another schoolboy kicks out. And then you get to the early 90s. That's when guys like Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart and Razor Ramon and Undertaker start to take off. They do that for like the mid to late 90s. The late 90s is when guys like Austin, Rock, Triple H really take off into the 2000s. And then you hit the mid 2000s. That's Cena's era. The mid 2000s to the 2010s is guys like Cena, Batista, Edge, CM Punk, guys like that. That's their era. And then you have the newer class, which like a guy like Roman Reigns, which is The Rock's cousin. This is quote unquote his era.
Yeah, I've seen some stuff of him recently popping up. So they're actually cousins?
Yeah. The majority of the Samoans
I know.
in the wrestling business are related. The Anawai family tree is crazy.
Well, all my Samoan friends, they're all brothers. They call each other brother. They call each other
Oos or something like that. Yeah.
So, I mean, I never really know where the actual familial ties are.
Rock was the first ever third generation wrestler.
Wow.
Yeah, his grandfather, High Chief Peter Maivia, and then that was his mother's father, and then his father, Soul Man Rocky Johnson, first ever black tag team champion. And then you have The Rock, who comes in the 90s.
Uh-oh.
See, The Rock's a big ass dude to be picking up like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's talking to the ref like, what are you talking about?
He's like, fuck you mean?
But what did the ref call? I missed it.
He kicked out, and he's like, what the fuck?
They don't get any actual breaks.
Mm-mm. No rounds.
This is it. This is where Cena's about to get cocky. Gonna try to beat him with his own move.
Ooh.
Takes off the headband.
Is this disrespectful? Is this like frowned upon?
Yeah.
Yeah, is it like using finishers against them?
Yep. Oh, wait.
Ah!
Ooh.
Rock got him.
Damn.
Wow.
So he's about to do it to him, and then I mean, that's a good finish.
Is that it?
Oh, this totally sets
Oh my
Cena
gosh.
up for like personal development.
Absolutely. You know, after this, he spent a year chasing the loss that he suffered to Rock. You know, trying to battle those quote unquote demons. So you go fast forward a year, WrestleMania 29 in Newark, New Jersey. Rock versus Cena. This time, Rock is the WWE champion. He'd had 10 years in between championships. He comes back, beats CM Punk for it. So the match is set. Cena had won the Royal Rumble that year, and the perfect stars aligned for twice in a lifetime. So what'd you guys think?
I think it was good. I mean, I liked seeing two guys of a similar size
Yeah.
in the ring. Like you talk about CM Punk, like the fucking Rock's got like 100 pounds on CM Punk. So like seeing that match, like there's no way CM Punk should win in my eyes. Just like thinking, like realistically, like The Rock is not gonna lose to CM Punk. But like seeing a guy like Cena and The Rock, like I like the visual aspect of it.
Absolutely. Brittany, what about you?
I liked learning mostly about the different moves and their titles and why they're significant, and and like what is each person's specific move and finish.
Absolutely. Well, I'd love to have you guys back on. I think it would be apropos if we watched Rock Cena 2 for the WWE Championship.
So what are the odds of 3 happening? You think it's like? Because I haven't seen it, but I want to assume that Cena gets his revenge.
Right.
I don't know.
They're 1-1. I'm assuming maybe Rock 2 owes him, but I'm assuming they want a piece so that they can both go down as still the best.
Right, and then they gotta have.
But then there's the potential to finish the trilogy. Yeah. And this is in 2012 and 2013.
Yes.
I mean, The Rock's getting kind of old now.
Yeah, The Rock's old. His contract.
But he's still like shredded.
Oh.
No, don't get it twisted. I think Rock could still go. So, I mean, if the story would call for it for those two guys to meet again, then I'm not opposed to it. I think if the next time we do see The Rock in a ring, he'd be wrestling his cousin Roman Reigns, because Roman's found a new bad attitude, and maybe Rock could be the one to shut him up. So yeah, I think that would be what's up. Okay. But I want to thank you guys so much for coming on. Where can the people find you?
Our podcast. Check us out on Instagram, and you can all the streaming services everywhere out there. We're at Team Talks Podcast. And yeah, appreciate having us on and coaching us up a little bit.
Absolutely. I love introducing the art form I love so much to other people, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
So I'd love to have you guys back on like a month or so and just watch Rock versus Cena 2 and then kind of show you other different elements of the business and other different wrestlers and performers. Maybe we'll watch some Japanese wrestling.
Ooh. I'd be down for Ronda Rousey, just because I know her and enjoyed her in the UFC.
I saw Ronda Rousey live at an event once. She was what's up. I was skeptical, but she delivered hands down. Maybe we'll watch the first ever women's main event at WrestleMania. Rousey was in that.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
I love seeing the crossovers between like different areas. I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
Seeing how many people have gone from WWE into like UFC world and UFC into WWE. Like it's just cool to see the parallels and how they like cross production promote things.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, absolutely, man. Well, like I said, Jon Brittany, I want to thank you guys so much for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
No problem. Today's Wednesday and upload time. So, guys, tomorrow we're releasing the Bullet Cast. You know, we're going to discuss everything that happened with Raw, AEW, SmackDown, what's going on in the world of wrestling. Check out the interview I did with West Coast Design. He made the new Bullet Cast Championship. I think you guys.
So cool. Yes, I saw that.
That was so cool.
That thing is never leaving my side. I absolutely love it. I'm not the current champion for the show right now, but I absolutely love it. Yeah, so guys, check that out. Check out the other interviews I did last week. TJP, former WWE Cruiserweight Champion. Zicky Dice, the current NWA Television Champion. Interviewed the champion of TV, guys. So go check out all that in our archives. Thank you so much. Diamonds are forever, and so is the microphone Messiah.
This is
Brett screwed Brett.
This has been the Bulletcast. Thank you for listening.